Hi, I'm Corinne, and today I'm going to be doing a makeup look and a wear test. I'm also doing a chatty get ready with me that you can watch in another video. Me just doing this makeup look, which is going to be for a business lunch, and then I'm going to do a wear test. So I did have a business lunch at 11:30 this day, so I started doing my makeup at about 9:30, and then I had a call at 4 and a call at 6 that I needed to have my full makeup done for. So I primed with the Charlotte Tilbury Invisible UV Flawless Primer, and now I'm moving into underpainting. Well, actually here I'm removing the zit stickers I had on, but back to underpainting. It's a technique that you put cream products underneath your foundation to increase longevity. I've been doing this for about 2 years, and I do find it helps my makeup stay on a lot. I'm using the e.l.f. Putty Applicator brush, which is technically for primer, and then the NARS Cream Bronzer in the shade Laguna 01. It gives my face a little bit more shape. Technically, I have a square or face shape. I worked at Sephora for a while, so I'm pretty certain about that. But I do like to emphasize it, so this is the easiest way for me to do it. This isn't technically contouring because this is a warm product, but I just like the way that this makes my skin look and my face look in general. And now we're moving on to blush. I'm using my fingers and the MAC Glow Play brush in the shade Blush Please. That's a tongue twister, say it a couple of times. I like putting on blush with my fingers. I just think it ends up giving me a little bit more control with the product, which is important to me to do. Cream blush can be a little tricky, so I just find it easiest to do it that way. And now we're moving on to my concealer under eye face situation. I'm using the Smashbox Undereye Primer, which has been discontinued for my under eyes. I'll probably have to move into an eye cream once this is done. I'm actually really sad this product doesn't exist anymore because I have pretty dry under eyes, and I find that this is a really good base to put concealer on. I don't put my foundation under my eyes on top of my concealer. I only do concealer because my under eyes are pretty thin, and this is just the best product to use. I honestly don't know what I'll use to replace it. It's very sad Smashbox got rid of this. Then I remember before putting my concealer on that I need to do my brows. I have naturally pretty thick brows, so I'm just kind of filling them in. I'm not too worried about them having any sort of shape or like perfection. It's not happening with my eyebrows. It's never going to happen with my eyebrows. And I'm at peace with that. So I'm using the Benefit Precisely My Brow in shade 3.5, and then the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. My lips were kind of dry and crusty, so I'm putting on the Henrickson Pout Preserve. I like the shade Cocoa Creme. I don't love the fragrance of this, but I've kind of gotten over that. This product is really nice. It's really good for everyday wear. I was debating wearing this to the business meeting, but I knew it didn't have longevity. And now I'm moving into concealer. I'm using the Maybelline Instant Age Eraser in the shade 160, which is a pink concealer. And then I'm mixing in the Armani Power Fabric concealer in the shade 3. I find this is actually quite light. I probably could have gone for a 4, but I have it and it works, so I've just kept using it. Now we're moving into foundation. I'm using the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation in the shade 2. Yes, the foundation is lighter than the concealer shade technically, but it works. I'm going in, putting it on the back of my hand, which is what I recommend instead of putting foundation directly on the face because you don't have control over it that way. And I'm putting it in the places that I need the most coverage, so the center of my face, not really the outside of my face. And then I'm going to take a brush. This is the Sephora number 56 brush, which is a round, dense brush, and I'm going to buff it towards the outer perimeters of my face. This is the best way to use this foundation, in my opinion. A sponge will take up too much of the product because it's a very lightweight product, and then you'll have to use multiple layers. A flat foundation brush won't really do the trick, and then something like a Sephora 47, which is my preferred foundation brush, it tends to just leave streaks, which is very irritating. For a really long time, I used this foundation with a concealer brush, but eventually I kind of just decided on this brush, and it's done me really well. I love Sephora brushes. I did, as a disclosure, work at Sephora for a very long time, so I think I've mostly purchased my Sephora collection brushes, but it wasn't just like a random purchase. I worked there. And then now that I'm relatively happy with the foundation, I'm moving into concealer. I'm going to be using the Sephora number 57 brush for concealer. This is the best concealer brush on the market. I have at least 7 of these. I think this was my first ever Sephora collection brush purchase, and I have no regrets. It moves the concealer really well. It works with every style of concealer. It deposits the product. It doesn't leave anything heavy, and as you can tell, it it's just a nice brush. I used to use this brush with this foundation for a really long time because it does all of those things with foundation as well if you wanted a multitasking brush. Now that I'm done blending in the concealer, I'm taking the residual foundation on the back of my hand and cleaning up the line of demarcation there, essentially. That's why I like putting the foundation on the back of my hand, because then if there's excess, I'm able to do this. And now I'm going to be moving into setting my under eye. I'm using the Givency Prisme Libre powder, the old shade Voile Rosé, not the new formula. This is probably the best product I've ever been influenced to buy. It makes my under eyes look very seamless, and it really helps longevity with my concealer, but it doesn't make it look crepey and creasy. I'm going to be very sad when this is gone because I'm not trying the new formula. And now that this is all set, you can see that the foundation does match my body, which is my whole point of using this foundation. And now I'm moving into the eyes. I'm using the Hourglass Veil Eye Primer. This is my favorite eye primer. It will do and work with almost anything, and I like the texture. I'm using a Katie Jane Hughes, one of her Spectrum brushes. This is the number 10 brush. I don't think this is its intended use, but this is what I use it for. I find putting on eye primer with a brush helps it not bunch up. I really haven't had the issue of this one bunching up, but this is just habit for me at this point. And then I'm setting the eye primer with the residual Givenchy powder. Now I'm taking the one size translucent powder that will never die, this thing I've had forever, and I don't use a lot of powder to set my face, so it's a good powder. I don't know if I'd repurchase it just because I have so much translucent powder, but I really do like it, and I use it pretty frequently. This is a really old Milk and Sephora collection brush that I bought when I worked at Sephora. You can use any like powder brush like this. Real Techniques makes one. They're very easy to find, but this is just how I set my foundation because I want it to be not heavy duty powdering. Then before doing my eyes, I decided to bronze my face just to give myself an idea of what I'll look like with my bronzer done, and if I wanted to put any in the crease of my eyes, then I could kind of see how the shading would look. I'm using the old NARS powder bronzer in the shade Vallarta, which is long discontinued, and then I'm using this e.l.f. stipple brush, which is also discontinued. I really love this brush. I wish e.l.f. would bring it back. It deposits the perfect amount of product every time, and it works with essentially any powder. I mostly use it for bronzer, but I have used it for blush, and as you can see, it's really seamless, and I really love it. And now we're moving on to eyes. I'm going to start with the Charlotte Tilbury Super Nudes palette. I'm going to use the shade 5 and then a Sephora 18 brush to shape my eye socket and kind of give it a bit of dimension. I like doing this because I find that it makes my look easier. Like, doing this makes me realize what shape my face has, and also if I want to go a little warmer in the crease, if I want to change the style of what I'm doing, I am putting a little of the shade underneath my eye as well to kind of create an elongated look. I do wear glasses, so I'm kind of taking that into consideration about what it's going to look like with the glasses. And after this, I was actually pretty happy with how the eyes looked, so I moved into blush. This is the Sephora collection number 93 brush, and then an Essence blush in Leaving You Speechless, which is discontinued from their Disney Villains collection. It's a peach shade. I like putting these two together because I feel like I look really healthy, and it's the middle of winter where I am, so that's kind of important. At a business meeting, you want to look like you've, gone outside of your house in 30-degree weather. Then quickly, that same Sephora Milk brush and one size powder, I'm taking it and I'm buffing out what I consider pretty harsh lines of where the blush and bronzer were to kind of make it more even in my face. So now I'm going to line my eyes. This is actually a lip liner. This is from the Dose of Colors and Nima Tang collab. This is her lip liner in the shade Chocolate Chip. I bought the whole lip kit and I gave the lipstick and lip gloss to my friend Cami, who's a bit deeper than I am, but I kept the lip liner. I did give her the Sephora collection lip liner Molasses as a sub, but I kept this because to me it is the perfect eyeliner shade. I find black eyeliner looks really harsh on me. I don't think it does too much for me. But this black and brown looks really, really good. It makes me look really awake and professional, but it's still kind of fun and different, and I like it. I also do tend to avoid black eyeliner because one of my best friends throughout high school and college wore it all the time, and then she tried to stop wearing it and people were asking her if she was sick or if something was wrong, so she felt compelled to keep wearing it. And so when I wear eyeliner, I try not to make it black because I don't want to fall into that habit either, which sounds kind of crazy, but honestly, it's pretty true having worked in makeup. And now we move into eyeshadow. I'm getting out a Z palette that has most of my melt shadows in it because I want to consolidate them all down. I love Melt. I love their shadow formula, but this is just easier for me because then I can mix and match what shadows I like. I'm using the shade Cork, which is from the Brunette palette, which is honestly my preferred Melt palette. I love the shades in there. I love the textures in there. I chose the color Cork because it was a little warmer, and I had initially used a cooler tone, but my face was pretty warm. And I don't really have a medium neutral brown that I absolutely love, so I just decided to blend these two together, and they looked really good to me. And then I'm taking a Sephora number 15, which is the best eyeshadow brush to ever exist, and then the shade Suede, which is also from the Brunette palette and from Melt, and I'm putting that on my lid. This is going to help me look super awake throughout my long day, and also I used to wear this look or a variation of it a lot with my last retail management job, so I know that it looks pretty professional and it's pretty versatile. I was wearing red. I knew I was going to be wearing red, so I didn't want to do anything too cool tone to upset that. And then after this, I went in and I touched up the eyeliner again and also touched up the shadow. Essentially, there had been a little bit of fallout, and I also wanted to make sure I could clean up any gaps. One of the things about makeup is you do have to be really patient and clean things up because it's never going to be perfect the first time, but you want it to last a long time. And then now I'm going to be curling my lashes. I'm using the Shiseido lash curler just because of how my eyes sit. I do find that it curls my lashes really well, and I do one eye at a time. I don't curl both eyes at once because I have lashes that don't like to hold a curl, so I need to curl them and then put the mascara on. I also keep my lash curler between my thighs so that it's warm, so it gives the lashes a better curl. And then I'm going to put mascara on. This has been my new mascara that I really like. This is the Tartelette XL Tubing Mascara. I'm using the shade Black. I just find that this holds on really well and it lasts all day through sweat and if you cry or if you rub at your eyes. This is just a genuinely nice formula. I've been through, I feel like, every mascara on the planet. I did have to move to tubing, I think about 4 years ago, because my eyes just can't handle non-tubing mascaras. Then I did more cleanup. I put on more shadow. I blended it out a bit more. Again, I'm doing my other eye now. One of the things I do want to emphasize about this look, or any look with real longevity, it doesn't really matter how good you are at makeup. Sometimes you do really need to touch your makeup up in the moment, sit back and look at the face. This is something I've learned from doing a lot of other people's makeup as well. If you're not really focusing on it, sometimes things will get missed and you'll take a picture and you'll be kind of irritated about it. But yeah, again, a lot of touching up, a lot of checking myself, a lot of really thinking about what I'm doing with my face. And then I took one final look, realized I wanted blush because I felt like the eyes had kind of washed it out. And then I'm putting my hair down because I was going to wear my hair down and I wanted to see if that looked good. I'm checking myself in the camera. The camera does catch flaws that the eyes don't. And then I decided to move on to lips. So I wiped off the lip balm because I felt like it was going to interfere with the lip line. I'm using Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude, and I'm doing the following lip technique. I'm following the outside curves of my lip in to create more of a natural shape with it. I am not trying to overline, but then I'm going up to my top lip and I'm following the Cupid's bow there, and then taking the liner from the outer corner of the lip in, following the organic curve, not really trying to overline, but really trying to make the natural lip line the emphasis. After this, I just filled in my lips with this color because I wasn't sure if I wanted to put on a lipstick. I did end up putting on MAC Over the Taupe in the car, but that's because it's my purse lipstick and I realized I wanted to use it to give myself a little bit more color. But yeah, really chugging along here. And with this, I decided I was done. I don't know what else to say. I feel like this is kind of a basic easy look, but if you're looking for a basic easy look that'll last all day, let me show you how it'll last all day. It is currently, what time? 10:02. 10:02. And yes, this is George Russell jumping up and down for joy at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, because that's where I was. I had a great time. All right. I will probably talk to you soon. And then I went and got dressed. Yeah, see, I look a lot more put together now, because I do wear glasses. And then I was heading out. It was about 10:15. This is me at the Grand Bohemian in my sweater. I had already had some coffee, so my lipstick wasn't great. But again, this is about an hour into wearing it. Okay, so it's 4:29, so 4:30. I've had this on since whatever time I told you earlier. Holding it pretty well. Again, this sort of makeup I do looks better the longer you wear it. But I have to be wearing this for another, I did put on lipstick, I have to be wearing this until about 6:37. So then we'll check in. Besides the lipstick, everything holding it pretty well. And I had 2 cups of coffee, some dip, a steak, fries, and chocolate bread pudding. So yeah, holding up pretty good. So it is 6:35. Yes, I have my blue shirt underneath this, but it's been a very long day for me. I think one of the best parts about this makeup is this fan being on. I probably sound like a psycho, but one of the best part of this makeup look is that though there is a little fading here, obviously most people don't eat steak and dip at a work meeting. Normally you're eating normal people's food. But though it didn't look like perfect earlier, it looks really good now. And like, it looks very skin-like, and it's baby doll. You know, like, you look like a real person. But, all on. Probably like a close-up of the concealer. This isn't really that bad. Nose, obviously over glasses, but chin, not too bad. Forehead. Essentially. Obviously those lips are totally gone, but unless you're wearing, you know, a lip stain with whatever, it's not gonna last. So, though it may not be the most glamorous look, hopefully this works for you. I'm gonna go take this off. Signing off.